always, where it's still an awesome time to back the A and to be an Arizona Wildcat fan. We're going to break down what happened and what Arizona needs to do going forward.
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for keeping it Locked On Wildcats. I am your host, Luke. All right, got a lot to get to this show. First, in case you didn't know, Arizona lost a Saturday to ASU on a 60-foot shot. There's not a lot that you can really take away from that, other than that I don't even really blame the shot. Arizona kept UCLA in that position, or excuse me, UCLA. Arizona kept ASU in that position there for a variety of reasons. First, not making free throws. Second, second, there was just a big gap, it seemed, between the intensity of both teams, and I think that's something that is going to be talked about for a lot of people for quite a while right there. But there was just a lot not to like about this game. And first, you got to start with Azuolas Tubelis. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Azuolas Tubelis is a fantastic basketball player. We are very lucky to have him. But at the same time, though, there are moments when he just appears soft. When there's moments when he just appears that, I don't really care about being here right now. And the ASU was another one of those games, and it's something that I think Arizona fans are frustrated by, but more so than anything, the fact that Tommy Lloyd had to keep taking him out on defense at the end was very, very disconcerting. Again, I don't know that anybody's looking at Azuolas Tubelis and is saying that he's Lauren Woods or Aaron Gordon, but you're also saying that, all right, you would hope that, when you're a Pac-12 Player of the Year candidate, you're not going to have to be taken out right there. And that's exactly what happened there. For Arizona, this was a big loss because I think it pretty much knocks you out of a number one seed. That was that was pretty much evident, I think. Again, I don't know that there's really anything you can do about it. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that if you go and you beat both the LA schools that you're not going to be right back in contention for a number one seed, because you certainly could be, especially with the way that everybody in college basketball is losing right now. But this was obviously a dispiriting performance right here, mainly because you got a bunch of players out there that, just didn't come to play. And, it kind of starts across the board. This team is limited. It's just, I hate to say that, but it is. And while they're good, you don't have a next level type player right there. You don't have the guy who just give him the ball, get out of his way, and he's about to score. You just don't have that dude. And honestly, I don't know that Arizona is going to, I don't know that, that there is that guy. And I think Tommy Lloyd has done a masterful job of masking a lot of that. Now, that being said, there's been some interesting situations right here. He should have had Umar Ballo miss that free throw at the end of the game. I don't know why he didn't have him miss that one, but because I think that at that point would have essentially made a long heave the only chance he would have. And by a long heave, I mean something you can't really set up for. Don't really understand why he didn't do that, but he didn't do it. And, Arizona right now is looking at as, a second place finish in the pack. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But first, Built Bar. Now, Built Bar is never finishing second anywhere. I can guarantee you of that. Built Bar is the number one protein source for anything in the United States. It tastes good. When you come out of the gym, you look forward to having it, and quite frankly, it is just tasty. You get a lot of people that don't like going to the gym, and their excuse is, well, you know what, I don't want to have to eat something that tastes like paste or chalk afterwards. Built Bar has eliminated that excuse. Check it out. Built Bar And you can get it in any of your local GNCs. All right, now we're going to come right back with you. We're going to talk about position by position breakdowns and what exactly happened. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats. I'm your host, Mike Luke. All right, Arizona State should be better than they are. We said that from day one. They've got players. They've got some guys that can really play. But and they play really, really, really hard. I got to give that to Bobby Hurley. But excuse me. I got to give it to Bobby Hurley. They play really hard, but their athleticism can cause some problems. Kirk Kriisa, by this time, we just kind of know what Kirk Kriisa is. He's kind of meh. I mean, he's okay, but he's going to make some big shots, but there's also going to be a lot of times when he's not going to do anything. Courtney Ramey, I wish would attack the basket more, but he really doesn't. I wish he would do that, but again, for whatever reason, he doesn't. And so that can limit him at times. And Azuolas Tubelis it's frustrating, but he just looks disinterested at times. And I don't know how, when you're a player of that caliber, how you become disinterested or you appear disinterested, because you have a lot riding on it. You've got all the nation's eyes on you at that point, and you get a rebound, and you essentially just give it to ASU for the putback right there. And that is something that I think is very hard to look past right there. Umar Ballo, thought he played well. Again, with Umar, we've always talked about it that, his game isn't necessarily predicated on skill set. His game is predicated far more on, brute strength and getting the ball into the hoop. And that is something that I think, a lot of people don't really take for granted. Now, I want to give Sed Henderson a big, big shout out right there. Sed Henderson has been absolutely fantastic for Arizona. He has been a big-time three-point shooter. He has been a defensive player. He has been awesome. And, you watch him, you watch how he plays, you watch the team around him, and he is just he is a delight to cover. Big time player right there. Obviously, love Cedric Henderson. Big fan of his game. And he's the epitome, too, of a guy that you don't really know what you're getting from one of these. You don't really know exactly what you're going to get from one of these guys until they're on the court when you come from a smaller school. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about what this loss means for Arizona. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats. I'm your host, Mike Luke. All right, this loss probably bumps Arizona from a 1 seed into a 3 seed. Now, I think if you go to the LA schools and you win, those are two very, very nice. Those are two very nice wins for Arizona. If you can get the LA schools, puts you right back in the 2 seed, gives the middle finger to UCLA, which we would all love to have. But I also think that Arizona right now is at the stage where if you don't win one of these 2 games, then you start looking at the 4 line, and then you got to start winning a couple games in the Pac-12 tournament. So again, you need to win at least one of these. You need to win at least one of these games right there, and we'll find out how they are. Again, we've talked about it before. That Arizona matches up fairly well with UCLA. And I think that besides that, you watch them and you think that Arizona could beat UCLA. And again, UCLA could definitely beat Arizona because they're more athletic, they're quicker, they're more dynamic across the wing. But at this stage, though, I think with Arizona, it's fair to also say that you got some major problems with athleticism. It's going to be interesting to see how they play against UCLA and Pauley. And you can't look over USC either with Andy Enfield, the job that he's done. So, again, a devastating loss for Arizona. And you're heading to the LA schools. You have a chance to make up for it. But, man, you made a little tougher road for yourself than you really needed. Okay, a little bit of a shorter pod today. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Longer one coming up. Again, not feeling the greatest, but tough loss for the Cats. We'll be back with you tomorrow. As always, have a great rest of your Monday. And you have been listening to Locked On Wildcats.